Are we live? It does appear we are live. Hello. Oh, I didn't pick a music. Hold on a minute. What are we going to listen to? This all looks like hot garbage. I would love to pick something that is not going to get us copyright strikes so you can actually listen to it later, but I'm not optimistic. Maybe I'm just going to skip over the music today. Let me think here. No, I'm just going to scroll down and pick something. We can't start without the music. Here, we'll do some pamplemousse. There's going to be some pamplemousse that I will like to hear, I'm sure. Or we'll just run out of suggestions before we get anything good. All right. Listen to this song is in French. Yay, that sounds good. Hopefully it's in French. I like French songs. Here we go. That was fabulous. Thank you, Pamplemousse. We are live. It looks that way anyway. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Wait a minute. I need the show notes. I need for this part of the show. Okay. So, good news. We reported a bug in Cozystack. It was kind of deep in the stack, the Ingress add-on, which I think is new. And it was addressed quickly, like every other bug I've reported with Cozystack. I'm really pleased with this team. I enjoy using their software and contributing to it. So anyway, we're going to, I'm going to pull up Telegram here. Somewhere in here. There's a link to, here we go. So I mentioned this in the show notes. I am curious. How did they go about doing this? How to configure Cozystack platform using GitOps approach. So I heard we had an idea about using a Helm chart to manage Cozystack itself. And that kind of looks like what we are doing here, actually. I think that's exactly what we're doing here. So if you haven't heard of this idea and it's totally new to you, maybe we can find a better entry point than that. Let's see, tenant example. So this is a tenant, customization.yaml, points at that one tenant. That is cluster 1. What else is in here besides cluster 1? Charts, definition of a chart. Okay. Secret. I suppose this is to help you populate secrets into the cluster. I heard that was one of the goals of this approach. So in Cozystack, everything is a Helm chart, basically. If you look at Cozystack, almost everything is a Helm chart. Okay, so we've got this packages directory, which is where everything in Cozystack is defined, and except for the script. There are a few other things in here. There's an image or two that makes up Cozystack, but the script is the main thing, and the charts that it installs. So there's a migration step, and that's to help you move from one version of Cozystack to another. There are a couple of steps to bring up Flux itself, which is based on Flux operator, a Helm chart, and the Flux CD system chart here, which is another Helm chart. Let's look at those charts here. Flux CD operator and Flux CD. So this is a convention in Cozystack, I think, maybe outside of Cozystack as well. But basically what we're doing in each of these directories is we've got a way to import the chart from upstream, and then we get our opportunity to patch it. So if there's something that we really wanted and it's not in the upstream chart and it doesn't make sense to upstream it, we can put it here. So that's what that's for. And then here, this is also based on another upstream chart, or at least I proposed it could be based on an upstream chart. It looks like that hasn't been merged yet. But we've got our instance here, and it's a very simple instance. Our instance is actually simpler than the upstream instance. So if you look, there is a chart called Flux CD instance here. Control plane charts. Flux instance here. And this is the more verbose, more feature complete version of that chart. But we only needed this much, so it's a smaller chart. And we can upstream. We can merge with upstream later if it's to anyone's advantage to do that. All right, so we install Flux. We wait until the CRDs are ready. There's a list of CRDs, or at least one CRD that we're waiting for. And then once the CRDs are ready, we can move on to wait for CRDs. Yeah, okay. To annotating all of the Helm repositories sources, which is something that we do because we're not. I'm not sure if there's an easy way for me to explain why we do this. But when a new version of Cozystack is applied, or if in development we're building a new version of Cozystack and we're in an intermediary state, it is important that these repositories get reconciled so that the Helm releases downstream of them can apply the changes. So we may have an instance of Flux that's running in the cluster, and Cozystack installer itself hosts Helm charts, all of these packages. And then what we're proposing to do is to install some services. Right, these are just services with no configuration. I have a bit of a earache. I'm not in the best shape today, so I don't really want to talk. Surprise. I'm going to see a doctor next week, but hopefully it gets better before then, so we can talk about all the other things that are wrong with me. Sorry, I don't want to gripe and complain on my one safe space here, away from all of that. So yeah, so we are gonna set up the timer. We're gonna do our usual Cozystack teardown stand up thing. Let's see how I do that. And I'm afraid this is affecting my coordination. I'm probably not gonna I probably shouldn't drive even. It's not a small problem. I've been dealing with it for a while. I feel like it's gotten worse. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to talk about that. We're just going to do the thing. So let's give it a shot. Before we start the timer, we need to make sure we have the latest version of all the things. And there might be a new version of Talm. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. There might be a new version we can post up on our, I think all that stuff here. All right, that's 3 weeks ago. I think we already have Talm 5.8. So if you're not familiar with all this, we've got our Cozystack demo environment with a set of instructions to apply it quickly to a cluster. We've got our 2-node cluster that's going to be 4 nodes soon. If this works, we'll be able to do it real soon. I need to harvest the old cluster, the legacy cluster, but I need to be rock solid confident that I can move everything over there, that I can tear the cluster back down and stand it all back up without a lot of pain or manual steps. And frankly, this GitOps configuration is probably going to help with that. We're not going to do all that today. I wanted to make sure you saw at least the GitOps reference architecture. You're welcome to go out and check that out and give us feedback. I'm not sure I was involved in this, but I'll take credit for it if anyone has a complaint or anything you want to know. I will probably be able to help you figure it out. So feel free to reach out to me. I don't want to give you the impression that I'm not involved, but I did not create this. Let's see. So we've got our Cozystack installer that we're using for development. I don't think any of this is non-standard except for the image tag. So that's where I'm building my Cozystack images when I build them. We're not going to build one today though. We're just going to use the reference installer. So there's this remote we can apply, and in fact I've actually already applied this to the cluster, but we're going to do it again after we tear the cluster down and stand it back up. You know what, I'm not sure we need to do all that. Actually, I would really like to save the time. I'm just going to leave it because it's already installed and there's no reason to do a speed run today if I'm not feeling well. But so you can stand your own Cozystack cluster up I've done it many times on this channel here. And I've got all the steps in here configured for my environment. So you create some nodes, you decide if you want control plane or worker nodes. I wanted one of each. And then make sure you're wiping your user disks if you're trying to start over on a cluster that you've already provisioned once. We've got a little widget in here that you can use to wait for your nodes to reboot. If you are trying to reproduce the speedrun results, you can do it there. So you see we've got a Cozystack cluster. We can get our secret. I hope that no one can get into my network and use the secret. I don't think you can. Here's our dashboard, and now we're logged in. Okay, so we've got, there's good reason not to tear the thing down right now, because we actually have a Redis instance that's in use. So if we tear it down, then that service will stop working. And I think we showed that off last time, actually. So here's that service. And damn. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be updating on its own on a schedule. It just didn't do that. So that's okay, though, because it does cache absolutely everything. And I'm surprised that we saw that error. I'm not sure how. Anyway, that's not what we came here to do today. So we are going to try. All right, let's see. We've got this. We need to upgrade. This is like step 1, setting up Cozystack. After it's done installing. So we give this a name. We want to enable etcd, and we want to enable ingress. This isolated as a new flag. I'm not sure how it works, but I don't want that. Guys, I gotta go try something. I think that this might help. I'm just gonna pause. I'll be back. Unless it doesn't work, then... Well, I'm not going to say that's much better, but it might have helped. Put some water in my ear and then let it drip out. I'm not sure if that cleared anything. Maybe I'll try it again later. All right, so... Ooh. Yeah, sorry. That's disgusting, but I know they say Q-tips are about the worst thing you can do, but I'm in a little bit of distress right now. I needed to do something, and I think the water might have helped. Okay, so did we push the button already? I think we did. We're upgraded. All right, so that means we have an etcd cluster now that's been installed as part of our tenant root. And we don't have a Kubernetes yet, but we have an ingress that gets its own load balancer. So let's take a look at that load balancer. Yeah, so here's our Redis load balancer, which is in a house, and here is our root ingress controller. I suppose technically these could be on the same IP address because they're using different ports, but that's not the way this is designed. Oh, yeah, I think that did work, and I should have done it on both ears. I'm going to be back. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, so we're going to take our Ingress port and we're going to run a bunch of services off of that Ingress address. Maybe not this one in particular. I would like to use a stable address. Let's see. We've really got some noisy machines back there. I would like to know what is going on. Oh yeah, that API server, look at him go. What's this? Cozystack also eating a lot of CPU. That's interesting. I don't think that it should be but it does appear to be applying stuff every second, or every 60 seconds, I guess. I don't know if we really need to do that, but tell you what, once we're done installing Helm releases, we'll shut down Cozystack installer and see if the fan goes down. I don't think that we need to be running it all the time, and I don't think that the instructions say that we have to either. Yeah, that is a lot better. Oh, I feel like I can go through the rest of the show now. Okay, cool. All right, so this is our top level Ingress controller. It does not get a lot of configuration. There's a bunch of stuff you can configure it with. We're probably going to use this external IPs to get the, yeah, listen to that. Helm template. It's running Helm template on all of this stuff, and it's really blowing up my spot. What machine is this on? I don't know which machine that is. Shoot. Don't know how to ask Linstar a simple question. But I know the docs will help me. That doesn't even tell me which machine is which. I'm not sure how to figure that out. I guess we can look at the node IP addresses, and that will tell us. Oh, here, this one is the control plane. And it's running on this low-ass machine. That's what's happening. It's running on this low-ass machine with not very much memory. And it's maxing out or pegging the CPU at 50% for long enough to make the fans go. That's annoying. I bet you if we just move it to the other node, that will stop. It was on SL8 3IM and now it's on ZZ0 UHD. All right, back to business. Where were we? Where the hell were we? All right, we're not installing. Here, this is going to make the fans go too, but hopefully not too much. Ooh, there's FerretDB. I think this is open source MongoDB. So you can actually bundle it with your open source product. That might not be AGPL. I don't know how licenses work. Don't ask me. That's a nice Flux logo. I don't remember seeing that before. Alright, so no, we don't want to deploy a virtual machine directly. We want to deploy them indirectly through Kubernetes. I haven't done this for a while. It's a good thing we don't have the timer going. And we are going to move that Redis instance, actually. I don't think that it should stay where it is. But how are we going to deal with that? Well, let's set up another one. We'll call it live instead of test. It will get a new IP. We'll move our service over to the new Redis instance, make sure it's working, and then we'll tear down the old one and we can cannibalize its released IP. Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? So we'll call it live. It's not production, it's live though. It's external, so it gets a load balancer and it has 2 replicas. Alright, and that's it. So we just deployed a Redis instance. There's no authentication as far as I'm aware. We're going to need this address for our downstream service. Here's our water monitor app. It's called water. How do I do this here? I don't think we are using a git remote for this because we're using Deis pull mode. So I just have to do there's our one config value, and let's see. So I'm going to hit the service and update the config value. And it looks like that. And this is not running on Cozystack yet, right? This is running on our V cluster, on our old Kubeadm cluster. Here we've got our new instance up. So if we hit it, we'll see the cache is already initialized and we're good to go. But we still don't know why it's not updating when it should on an hourly basis. I mean on a daily basis. There's a timer. There's 2 timers. They should run apart, or they should run out 30 seconds apart from each other. I just want to, I'm not going to get bogged down in this. We're going to finish what we're doing. Okay. All right, so we've got our new load balancer 243. Garrison. All right, I don't know. So I think we can just tear down the old Redis. Just delete it. Got some UI glitches, but that's okay. And now we can deploy our Kubernetes that will use that. Here we are going to use the Ingress. So we actually need to re-roll out this Ingress so it gets a new let's see if that works. Upgrade. I wonder why I didn't remember our host name. There. All right, so we should see there's our root ingress controller with the IP that I wanted it to get, our new Redis IP, and there's an IP between them that we can use if we need. But we won't, we're just going to use this one, because if we look at that Traefik config that I mentioned in the show notes, I think it's in this one actually. No, we haven't set it up here yet. Here we go. So our virtual cluster we're going to bring up, it's not a virtual cluster, it's a KubeVirt cluster. Sorry, I don't want to confuse terminology because we have other things called virtual clusters, vClusters. It is a KubeVirt cluster with virtual machine nodes and a Kamaji control plane. And here's our ingress route. So it's going to route any requests for howard.mumbu.space to port 80 if they came in on port 80 and port 443 if they came in on port 443. It's going to pass through TLS so that we can use our Kubernetes API that has its own TLS certificate, CA, all that stuff. And we're going to take advantage of that. So what we're not going to have to do in the future is when we want to, for example, stand up a service behind that, which we've got a similar one here, right? We can have as many of these as we want. They're all going to listen on the same Traefik IP address. But what I've found is the problem is if we have one Traefik in front of another, then it interferes with the what do you call it? I'm not sure. I'm still a little disoriented. I don't think it really totally worked. I still have kind of a headache. I don't know, guys. I'm not really feeling it today. I would really like to finish this stuff. What did we say we wanted to set up on here? We didn't really say, did we? We just wanted to test it all out. All right, so we're going to stand the service up again, but without Deis workflow. Is that what we're going to do? I don't really... Sorry everyone. I'm just going to bail out today. I'm not in great shape. I think I just need to rest. But I hope you check this out. Hopefully we'll do something more fun on episode 60. Maybe we'll do this again. We'll just try to finish this. But I need to bail today. I'm not feeling it. And I've got a bunch of other stuff I wanted to do. We do have time to do is to go over the tabs. I would like you all to see all the other fun stuff I'm trying to do. I don't have really time to do all this stuff, or energy for that matter, but I do want to share it with you here. So we've all seen this one before. Oh, somebody's trying to reach me. No, they're not trying to reach me. I am trying to reach them. And it succeeded. Ahoy! Well, we haven't heard from Zod in 14 days. Let's say hi to Zod. Oh, Zod's still there. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, okay, so... I really enjoy this stuff, and I really enjoy this. I'm really happy to see this, because we used to have a nice sun clock in Urbit that would tell you all about the cycle of the moon, what time the sun was going to set, so you knew how much time you had to go outside and be in the sun if you want to get some sunlight. I think we need more of that in our computer. Computer should tell us to go outside. In fact, that's what I'm going to do instead of just going downstairs and lying on the couch. We ordered a new couch. I'm really all over the place, but we did order a new couch, and I think that's going to help too, because the couch that I've been on, it served its purpose, but it's not a great couch. It's just got a bent frame, and I think it came that way, and it got worse because it was bent. And because I'm fat. There we go, fat shaming. But all right, how do we? The one thing I want to make sure I highlight, I think the rest of these things I could forget about and it would be okay. Oops. Of course. Is Hoon School. If you are interested in Hoon School and you happen to have like some free time this week, it's not too late. It might be too late to enroll at this point, but it's not too late to finish all of the lessons and the exercises. I think I've watched, up to lesson 3 or lesson 4. I kind of lost focus, partially because of these health things I'm dealing with, and partially because we lost our Poochie, which you probably already know. We had a nice bulldog, Luna, who passed away last month, June, and it's very sad. We're coping though. We're grieving. We're gonna make it. We bought a new couch finally. It's gonna take a little while to get delivered. We'll see if the couch comes or I get my health concerns addressed first. But they said it would be 2 to 5 weeks for the couch to come, so I guess that's setting expectations. That's a reasonable amount of time to expect to wait for your health to get better if you have something wrong. 2 to 5 weeks. But my appointment is at the end of next week, so start your stopwatches. We'll find out. I have a good doctor. She's going to take care of me. She's going to help me figure out what various things are wrong and what I need to do first to tackle them. I think this head thing is going to be over by then. I'm really hopeful that it's going to be over by then. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to go outside. My doggy was my motivation to go outside every day. So it's really hard dealing with a loss like that. I can't imagine what it's like for someone to lose a child. But I imagine this is sort of what it feels like. She was our baby. Definitely not going to share this video with the folks I want to interview with for a job. I was looking for a job when the dog passed away, and I realized there was no hope. Like I knew if I got into an interview that week or the week after, that there would be no way that I would avoid bringing that up. And as soon as I bring up my dog died, I'm sure the interview's over. it's not, you're not getting that job as much as you might get sympathy points. Anyway, so we've got the Hater's Guide to Kubernetes here. I haven't read this, but I'm sure it's interesting. I've got a lot of these cooking videos, and of course Hoon School itself is online. This is the title track here. I really enjoyed the Hoon School lessons that I did tune in for. And if I don't finish this week, I do think I will go back and watch the rest of these and try to complete the exercises on my own. But the deadline has been extended a couple of times. It's extended currently to, I think, Sunday. Sunday or Monday, if I read the calendar correctly. So if I'm so inclined, I might have the energy to finish 2 homeworks a day and get to the end and just be able to say I did it. That way, if I don't make it through this ear thing, or if it's not just ear thing, it goes all the way down my neck, I don't know. I'm going to try that water thing again, though. I'm actually going to take a shower at some point this afternoon, I think, and try this water thing in the shower again. Because if there's just something blocking it, and it's possible, I do use Q-tips. I might have packed the wax in without understanding what I was doing, and maybe that's the source of my issue now. So if I get some water in there and swish it around, maybe it will. You know what? I'm gonna look up. I bet there's something better. Probably hydrogen peroxide. I'm not just gonna put it in my ear. I'm gonna look it up. But I bet you there is something that I can do that will give me some lasting relief, and I won't have to wait until next week Friday just to be seen. But it's not that urgent. It doesn't feel that urgent anyway. All right, so Hoon School, also not that urgent, but getting there. We've got our Planet Desk here. If you want to know about Urbit, welcome to visit me in the Planet Desk here. I think that I can copy a invitation link so you know how to get here. Here, invite people. There, you can scan this QR code actually, and I bet you that will get you all the way to Urbit, even if you've never used Urbit before. I'm going to zoom in on that in case anyone really wants to scan it. Oops, how do I do that? There you go. Go ahead and scan me. Scan me and join me in our wonderful Web3 community. You don't need any crypto. You don't need to handle crypto. You don't need to own any crypto. You don't need to spend any money. Just come and join us. It's a free service for now, and it's always open source. You can always take it with you. I really enjoy Urbit, but if you want to get to directly to the Galactic Embassy Hotel, it is here. This lure part is supposed to get you an Urbit ship, but if you already have an Urbit ship, that's all you need. Put that into your how do you get there? Like, you go new group, join a group, put it in there like that, search for me, and you'll find me here. This is Intergalactic Kitchen Post. I think I need to put an icon here. That's probably why nobody comes. There's no icon. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we looked at all these tabs. I'm just going to move the tabs from the right desk to the left desk. I think I should do this more often. It's healthy to move the tabs around. Thanks, Urbit. You've done your job. That fan never did shut up. Maybe if we shut that whole machine down, then it will be quiet. I think we can get away with doing that without breaking our websites. I think we want a graceful shutdown, which is apparently the only option. Oh, there's force. That would be the non-graceful shutdown. We're going to let it cordon and drain. That can happen in the background. We don't need to pay attention to that. Did I already? No. Okay, we've got some more. We've talked about we want to build a website. So we did build a website last time, but it's not so much a website as a middleware service. Here's another thing I'm going to try to do this week to help me feel better. I don't know if this is going to help me work out my neck pain. I think this is a muscular strain. I hope it's a muscular strain, because all the things it could be besides a muscular strain terrify me. But I'm not going to think about that, because that's just going to give me anxiety. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I know or don't know. I don't know anything. Build kit. We would like to talk about using this for Udais workflow, since we won't have Docker anymore on our Kubernetes clusters. Here, I want to see if that water service is still okay. Yep, it's fine. Okay, cool. So different ways that we can build images. There's BuildKit, there's Canico. Goal number 1 is to find a way to preserve Docker file capability. We used to be able to do a git push, and then the Docker build would happen inside the cluster, which is important. We don't want to use GitHub Actions runners. We want to use our builder node, which will be able to do caching in a way where we're not fetching the cache every time. The larger the cache gets, the more expensive it is to fetch and unpack. If we keep the cache on our builder node, then every time we do a new build, the builder node records its update, doesn't have to send it anywhere. It's a way more efficient way to do build and push. So this is another topic that I considered trying to present at RubyConf, but it's not very Ruby, right? Like building Docker images in Ruby is a thing, but I think it's a pretty well solved problem at this point, even if I think that the average solution probably is missing a lot of what I'd really like to see in it. I'm not sure it's worth spending all the time on that, and I don't think we're going to make any new groundbreaking discoveries doing all that. But the Summer of Spin did launch this week. There's actually somewhere in here a, what is this? I don't know what this is. I think this is my reminder to go get some ibuprofen here. So that might help this too. If this is just inflammation and swelling, just reduce the inflammation and you'll get better. I think that's reasonable advice. So I'm going to go get some ibuprofen. I'm going to get some outside time. I think I'm about done here. Excuse me. I have a lot of different things going on with my health. I don't want to be worried, but I don't want to be under concerned either, because I do have lots of family history stuff. I have lots of things that I feel like if both my parents had done something differently, then they would both be in a much better condition to, like, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff lately besides just losing my dog. That was like the exclamation point. But we all have a lot of health issues. I feel like that's the common theme, common thread that everyone can commiserate on these days. So I don't want to avoid it because I feel like it's easy to lose faith in the medical system, especially with the way, like, all you have to do is look at outcomes and say, it's could be a lot better, but it's easy to feel, it's easy to get defeatist and to set yourself up for, like, I watched this fellow who was a neurosurgeon or something, and he quit. And it was because of outcomes. I don't know if I'll find it if I look for it, but he got disillusioned. Who talks about who actually gets better. This is it. We're going to watch him here real quick. I think this was it.
I'm often asked, what is the hardest?
Why did the MIT neuro... This is it here. TikTok video. I just want to listen to what he said, because I don't remember it being, like, particularly polarizing in any way. I think it's probably good advice, but it's... Well, let's just watch it.
Okay, this is one of the few good doctors that has moral compass. I came across this video about a neurosurgeon from MIT who spent nearly a decade of practicing neurosurgery. He made the unexpected decision to quit last year. Despite his expertise and advanced surgical techniques, he found that many patients did not achieve long-term relief from surgery alone. He noticed that those who healed effectively often had a healthy lifestyle, including a plant-based diet, regular exercise, good sleep, low stress, and strong social support. He became disillusioned with the medical system, which he felt was more focused on economically driven treatment like surgery and medication rather than promoting holistic healing. This video is about 48 minutes long. I'm going to share with you a part of the video how the doctor interviewed his patient about how they effectively heal before their spine surgery appointment.
And this is my observation. They were having a diet. Well, diet seemed to be the most important. The food that people ate and the liquids they drank. The ones that would heal up, they had a low salt diet. It wasn't really salty. And most of them ate mostly plant-based foods, like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans. And this is not like a vegan rant or anything. I'm not vegan. I enjoy a steak or sushi every once in a while. I'm just describing what I saw over 9 years of doing spine surgery. People that got better were having a mostly plant-based diet. They weren't eating too much animal foods, and they were definitely not eating salty, and they would do things that would make them sweat, like exercise, being outside, hiking like this, going to a sauna, or they live in a warm place. They didn't smoke. They didn't drink much. They usually had a good social support, like loved ones, family members, children, friends, like a way to socialize. They would sleep. They would sleep like 8 hours every day. And they weren't stressed out, or if they had a stressful job or something, they found a way to be mindful or meditate or like just be present and release the stress back into the universe. That's what I saw.
All right, thanks for joining me on Sunkworks. You can find the longer video if you want to hear what he has to say. But I'm going to go take a little rest. And if you need a rest, I think you should take a rest too. I think everyone needs a little rest today. So don't deny it to yourself if you need it. All right, have a good day. See you later.